Hi, my name is April Nicolas, and welcome to the Just Do You Summit. I wanted to welcome our guest, Kelly Canull. I know her personally, so I will tell you in a little bit why I picked her. Um, for now, I am doing this summit because of my own journey. I had to find my way to my own truth and speak it, and then act in accordance with everybody else around me and the world. And in doing that, basically the old life that I knew had to fall apart, and I had to pick up the pieces of what still worked. And Kelly's one of those people that I have journeyed with. I have studied under her. She's done amazing things in my life and helped me speak my truth. She is actually an author of An Inward Journey, A Guide to Living Your Best Life. And she's a soul life coach. And I have gone to her a few times, and as well as people I know. So here she is, Kelly Canull. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and what led you here?
Yay, thank you. Well, beautifully so. My journey started early in life, and the ability I had to be able to perceive where people were choosing fear over love was very highlighted, very hypersensitive and aware for me to see that. So really at the age of 6, I started letting people know what I thought were new perspectives. And in that time, of course, I was just a little girl, direct and, saying it like I see it, like a lot of children are really. The difference for me, though, was that I didn't stop at that age. I kept the light on, I kept my heart open, and I used my intuitive gifts as well as my own divine gifts, which we all have our own unique, customized one, which for me is just an ability to tune into my own soul and the soul of anyone on the planet and bring forth wisdom and clarity and guidance. But the guidance that I love to bring forth mostly is that we're all here to go inward. We're all here to tap into that part of ourselves that has innate, amazing information. It has the road that when we feel that we are coming up against a roadblock or stuck or we're worried or we just get to the point where our mind hits that wall, it's the part of the wall that opens up, the part of the wall that says, this isn't the end, there's more, kind of like a little magical fairyland. So yeah, this is me, it's who I've always been, it's what I'm all about, and teaching and sharing and living myself.
Yes, and you helped me do that for my own life. Part of my issue was abandonment issues with the male energy, and as well as speaking my truth from my heart. And so in walking with you, I learned how to ground myself and then settle the wounds I had in past lives and with the masculine energy and integrate my own masculine and feminine, going forward. And that was quite exciting, stretching and growing. For those in the midst of their journey right now, for myself, when I was going through it, I didn't know I was going through it. So how would they know if they were going through a much needed shift to have a more fulfilling life? Are there indications that they could see?
Yeah, there's going to be a number of them that might be, like you mentioned, not that obvious, and there might be some that are obvious. Here's some that might be like the middle of the road, kind of obvious. One would be you start to notice that the people around you are not supporting you as much as they might have in the past. That's a really subtle indication that you're shifting and changing or needing to transform or up-level, I like to use that word, your life to a new level of consciousness. And the people around you, I call everyone an actor and actress, playing a part to support you on your journey. So all these people, family, friends, coworkers, you name it, they're actors and actresses playing a role. And sometimes it looks like toxicity. Sometimes it looks like anger and rage. Sometimes it looks like betrayal, abandonment. Okay, so what it is, though, is that first phase, you're going to take it personally. You're going to think it's your fault. You're going to think that, like, whoa, what did I do wrong? Why is this connection leaving my life? Or they're not here for me like I thought. It's a gift, you guys. It's a gift. The gift in that is that if you take a deep breath and check in with your heart, you're going to know that there's a little quiet space nudging you and inviting you to something else. And that is very scary because that something else is not showing itself, but the old is falling away,
Yeah.
right? So that's one example, like a big one. That's a subtle one because it's people, and that's one example. Another transformation is sometimes through excitement, like you just know, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to treat my life this way anymore. I'm not going to treat that person this way anymore. I'm done being this size and shape, and I'm done eating these foods. I'm done, and that's what I like to honestly call the bullshit line. Like you're done. Like no more bullshit. I'm done with this, and I'm moving up. Okay, and that's important. That's another way that you're like, okay. And at first you get really excited, and sometimes people go read a book or see a seminar or get motivated, and they're like, yeah, let's do this. And then, you guys, the same thing happens. You go, whoa, nobody's really showing me what to do up here, so I better default back to the old. Okay, so what I'm here to do and what the world or many people on the planet are here to do is, like, once you guys realize you're transforming to this next level, don't be afraid and don't think that there's no one here to support you. It's just the people who were once here under the pretense of support are not going to be there for you anymore because they're not rising up at the same level. And that brings me to kind of that third point. Another way you can tell is, like, it's a little mix of what I've already shared, but it's also this part of you that feels like maybe you were super extroverted and all of a sudden you want to retreat. Or you have been retreating and then, like, you keep retreating. It's this part of you that's like, yeah, like, I need my space. And sometimes, again, this comes, you come out in anger and rage to people. You command your space. Like, again, it's a little bit of I'm done with this, but it's like, no, you might end a relationship abruptly or, things like that. When this is an example of people wanting to come in and take your energy a little bit more or be more absorbed in your field, this is kind of the opposite, right? So you're like, you say, I've had enough. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. So. Kind of like an energy vampire is what's happening from old.
Again, all actors and actresses playing a part, but you're going to sense them as that because you're going to realize underlying is this part of you that's like, I need to take care of me. Right. I've been putting me aside this whole time and taking care of the world. Now it's about me. So yes. They're going to feel that way.
And I had that as number 4. The number 3 I had was your explanation of the new paradigm shift, the creating of a solid foundation of self-growth, which is, I think, why people have that urge to retreat and go within and find out what their soul is trying to tell them, right?
Yeah, it's like, in order for us to understand what this new paradigm is, and a way to also think about it is, like, if you want to personalize it, just say that new world I'm entering into and I have no idea how to live in it. It's that simple, but that profound. I mean, think about that, you guys, for 1 second. When you're in this space of not knowing if you're transforming and shifting, or totally aware that you are, but everyone's in the same boat because they're like, I'm shifting. I don't know I'm shifting, but we are. And what do we do, right? So I'm letting you know that right there on that cusp, when you're like, I am, but what do I do? Lean into it. Go into, I don't know, but I'm going to be shown. However, it's not your mind that's going to show you in this new way. It is going to have to be your heart. Yes. So some of us have that atrophied. It's like the soul muscle is weak. We got to start using it again and learning how it works.
Yeah, practice.
Absolutely. I was thinking, I've had a couple people lately just, reach out to me and say, help me. And I'm like, look, this is a lifestyle choice. It's a choice that you're interested in really realizing this is not a quick fix. It's a journey of awakening and remembering. And there's myself and many along the way, like you mentioned, that'll hold your hand and really show you. And I like the holding of the hand because we're all equal. But we all have our genius, right? So it's like someone will be there for you guys the second you decide, I can be okay with letting go of what is not working for me anymore. Something better is showing up for me. Even listening to this right now, this summit, even being here is enough to say, like, I give myself permission to lean in to whoever is supposed to show up for me to support me as I move forward.
Yes, and I learned that in working with you for the 6 months 4 years ago. We end up releasing old connections, people, places, and things that no longer serve us, to create space for something new. And like you said, it's journey. So it doesn't stop once you release and create space, it keeps going. Just to let the participants know, in December, I watched your video and we collectively, you invited us to release old things that no longer serve us and to have abandonment issues come up. And it'd be painful, but we would address it and set an intention of being ready to connect to humanity. And I'll tell you, I create mantras every December, but and they're very strong. But this one is big because I asked that I'm ready to be seen, heard, and felt. And here we are, like I got goosebumps. Within February, it was in the works. And so I'm here to let the participants know, like Kelly said, it's a decision we make when we're ready to step in. And it's not small. I mean, the work is for us to do. They're here to guide us. You're here to guide us. We all have our own stuff too. But once we decide, spirit and the universe like meets us more than halfway to get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about you. You tell us to, hey, brace yourself, but remain open, soft, expand to receive. And there's this note that you had on your book about surrendering who we think we are to receive who we really are. Can you explain to them what that means?
Yeah, this is tricky, you guys, because we're inside of our own experience. And so we are not really seeing through the lens of the mind and how much our mind is dictating our choices. So what I'm inviting everyone to do is to have awareness of this. Just in this moment as you're listening, just start to have awareness that perhaps what you've been saying to yourself over and over and over again, which may be negative self-talk, or it could be neutral self-talk, or it could be, manipulative or controlling. It's your own point of view from your mind's survival storyline. So when I say that let's let go of that and open up and allow the real you to come through, allow the truth of who you really are to come through, some of my other verbiage, in addition to what you're sharing off my book, is it's effortless. It's like we work so hard to keep ourselves in this game of life that we think we're controlling and we think that we're actually doing something, when really, you guys, when you let go of the part of you that thinks you're doing it and you really allow, and that's a key word, allow, open, receive, this part of you that just is birthing from within you. It's already there. You don't have to do anything to have it be. You just have to pay attention to it. Boom. It shows up. It will show you who you are.
It shows up in such a big way.
Yeah, because we are so big, but the mind is so tiny. And it's like, it's just ready to expand through the essence of the mind. Look, I'm not one to ever knock the mind. The mind is amazing. The ego is amazing. All of it is who we are. We are all inclusive to the wholeness.
Right.
Yet our focus, what are we focusing on, is the key. And we have quantum physics all the way in the whole world, string theory and all these other theories in quantum physics will show you whatever you focus on is what you're having.
Yes.
So I invite you to focus on that which may seem a mystery to you right now, and that's the heart. But just start focusing on it. And like April's mentioning, it booms, it opens, it expresses itself. It'll show you what's there. And it's super unique to each person.
Super unique. I can't, it's very magical is the word. I used the word weird before, but weird because, people are used to seeing things versus feeling things as proof, right? Even if you can't see it. And at this point in my life, I'm experiencing things you can't see with your eyes, only with your open heart. And that's where I'm inviting the participants to go, which is where you walk with us, right? Unexplainable miracles, basically, and I've learned to trust them. Now, you brought this up earlier, the responsibility of self-care. What does that look like and feel like for them when they start doing it?
Yeah, so I hear a lot that people get confused with the word selfish versus self-centered. And if you even want to use the word selfish with the small s, yeah, there's a lot of connotation, and I'm just going to go around the energy of words, and the energy around selfish is what we've all kind of tuned into. It feels like we feel guilty for doing that. We feel like it's wrong. We feel like, how could we do this to someone else if we put ourselves first? Okay, so then let's move over to the big S for self, like the highest self of who you are, and the big C, centered. So when you're self-centered, you're centered into the heart of who you are, and you supply yourself from the universe. You see, when we're in acts of the world that we even quote unquote want to be selfish, we're really saying that we have a wound inside, that we are tired, we're done, we're exhausted, we don't know where to turn to get more supply. And often what women and men will do, both the same, they'll just go give more. Because in a way, giving gives that feeling of love, and then at the end of the day, we're still depleted. So self-centered to me is being responsible for the fact that it's time to reel our energy back into our own self and stop latching on to needing everyone else to tell us who we are. We are the only ones who can remember, and remembering means you have to be quiet. You have to go into stillness. You have to go to the self of the highest self, center into it, and say, who am I? What is this all about? I've been so into the outer world, and now I want to know, this inside of self. So your self-care is also can be the big S and the big C. Right. It's self, the highest self, caring for me. So I'll use myself as an example. Like Kelly is going to tune into the highest self of who I am, to allow the divinity of who I am, the centeredness of who I am, to care for me.
Right. And that's a new view. It's not really practiced in our society.
No, right? Normally it's the small s, and so it's the lower self, and so it's the lower frequencies of life, and it's the I need to get something from you. So if I give 1,000,000 times, please get back to me. And dang, you didn't get back to me. Now I don't like you, and now I got to go over here and trying to find it. And then all of a sudden you're depleted, and you say, gosh, it's too selfish of me to go take time for myself. Right. Well, that's just like old school. Let's be done with that.
So I have this thing where, okay, so somebody's in their inward journey now. Their old life is falling away. They're creating space. There's going to be a little period where it feels alone because, you're starting to meet new people, going to new places and things. How do they know that they're in that spot of really getting to know who they are in this process? How can they trust that? What is that feeling?
Well, we can't just go off only feelings, because once again, feelings can come and go. So when you're in that space, the great invitation I have to you is that when all humanity seems to step away to give you that space, the reason it's happening is your soul wants the microphone. So you're not really alone. You're actually just created space for yourself to listen and put the phone of connection to you and your soul up and listen in your heart. So the next phase isn't loneliness and aloneness. Honestly, if you feel sad and alone for too long in that space, it's because you haven't connected right away to your essence. So that's what you want to do, is like, whether it be, some people want to go to church all of a sudden, some people want to go to kirtans, and some people want to download a bunch of new healing, happy music. Some people want to go take up a new martial arts or painting or something creative. Now, those we have to watch though. Are those fillers? Are those things that we just jumped and grabbed something new? Or were they actually divinely inspired? And once again, the way to know the difference is, are you comfortable with 5 minutes of your life alone, with no one else around, no one telling you what to do, no one nagging on you or needing you, but also in that 5 minutes, not just like, oh, I'm not, because the mind will take over. Right. But in those 5 minutes, are you comfortable tuning into yourself? Are you comfortable taking that time to go into the part of you that says, I feel lonely, I feel scared, I feel uncertain, and soul, I need you to show me who you are. I don't know, I don't have a clue who you are. Can you please show me? And that's how it starts.
Well, it's so funny you said that 5 minutes, because you had us journaling every day and during those 6 months. And Sometimes it took 5 minutes, sometimes it took longer, but you made it very important to point out that we needed that alone time within to hear our own soul. And that's when we get to what you really want to talk about, is speaking from our heart. And I want you to explain to them what that looks like when in practice.
Yeah, everyone listening is going to be in different stages of their journey right now. Yet I think we can all come to a relatability here. And that's the part that is, how are we talking to ourselves and the world? Is it through the lens and the cloaks of anger, pain, frustration, rage, all these things? Or are we actually in a compassionate place of our heart, speaking to the world and ourselves from the loving place of the heart? Now, you're going to just hear that and go, well, I'm really kind, I'm really sweet, I'm really loving, and I'm really, gentle, and I love the world. And then all of a sudden something happens and throws you awry, and then you react out of the pain body, okay? So speaking from the heart, once again, what I really feel as a collective for this group watching this in this moment is awareness. It seems to be like a very important first step. I have the 4 A's to authentic happiness that I wrote many years ago. And the first one is awareness. And this goes into speaking with your heart. So first I want you to be in awareness. Do I really feel like I'm communicating to the world and myself from a really loving space of my heart? Just ask yourself that. And monitor it whatever way you want without judgment. Like, oh, I might or I might not. Okay, I might start becoming aware of my life to see where I am or am not. That's the first step. Then the second A to authentic happiness is allowing. Okay, so what I'm going to invite you to do then is I want you to allow yourself to do something different. And here's one technique I'll teach you now. This is a very interesting one. Oftentimes I'll find that people will complain right off the gut when they get off a phone with a family member or someone who they might have siblings or whatever. And often the conversation will be that the person on the other line and that you were talking about a third party. So what I find is that a really great way to speak from your heart is start to notice when you're talking on the phone to someone, only talk about yourself and only inquire about them and only let them talk about themselves. Right. This is huge. This alone cuts out so much energy of just all this jargon and garbage about projection and judgment and blah, blah, blah. To the person you're talking to saying, hey, I really want us to just focus on us.
Right.
Like this moment, you and me. I want to talk about me and you talk about you. So that's one piece. And the other piece that can go with that is another tool, practical application here is also when you're speaking to other people, speak from first person only. Take out of your vocabulary you, we, and us.
Right.
This is really difficult to
owning it.
Okay? Yeah. Really, because some people say, oh, I've learned this before, and I say, I feel that you really, I got you in there. I put you in there. I feel that but you and we and us. Okay, so it gets tricky. So really practicing it with I, and then you're going to have to stop right there, and you're going to have to dial into your heart. And this is the allowing phase of the 4 A's to authentic happiness. You're going to have to allow yourself to take a breather here and go, okay, so I'm a little triggered by this person in the situation, and I am going to come from the place of just sharing, heart-based, okay. So then tune into your heart, and here's one thing you can do. You can just say heart, silently inside. Heart, speak, speak. I don't know how to speak to this person from love. Please speak. And you might say to that person, you need to take a break right now. And you might find that night you get inspired to write a creative poem or find a piece of music that is heart-based. And you come back to love some way, and you can send that piece of music to them or send the poem to them or call them and leave them a loving, uplifting voicemail. Something that says, in the moment I wasn't able to come from my heart, but I stepped away from it and that was heart-based. And now my heart spoke. I got inspired for this piece of music for you, and this is my way of connecting back in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another example.
it's an amazing practice, which takes a lot of awareness in the moment, because um, the way I grew up, you brush everything under the rug and you don't talk about it. And then, so nobody talks about anything. They get busy talking about other people, places, and things, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's a big one. That is huge. And it's like, how do I go from like, I want to just talk about me, but everyone around me wants to always talk about other people? Well, you have courage. You have the courage and the confidence to teach them a new way by leading by example.
Yeah.
And you just say, hey, you guys, I know we're used to working from this way. I know we're used to talking about so-and-so and this and that when we're together, but I'm practicing something new in my life, and I'm choosing to do these heart-based practices. So I want to share with you that I would love to share about myself, and I would love, April, if you just shared about you, right?
Yes.
This is courage. It's baby steps, but it works, you guys. It works magically, because you know why? The person that you're talking to they really don't want to sit there and talk about it like in all this negative energy. They really want to be uplifted too, and they want to be in the vibration of like cleaning house and not doing all that and just bringing their energy back to center. They appreciate it.
Yes, they do. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, was there anything else that you want to pass on to them that we haven't touched on that can be very useful in their journey after watching this summit? Because they're going to be in for a big shift.
Yeah. So, I think we took this through, and I'll answer the other two A's because I know that the people here are curious. Wait, what are the other two?
Yes.
Appreciate. Okay. So we'll go, and my answer will be with that, appreciating. So once you guys are on this journey, it's all parallel to these four A's. Okay. So some of you are going to be like coming in and hearing the summit in just awareness, and you'll leave the summit and you'll be like, that was just good information. And you may not want to do anything with it. But don't let the mind trick you into thinking you don't want to do anything with it. Okay, move into the allowing phase. Move into the party that says, well, okay, I'm going to allow myself to listen to more of these, or go and practice one of these tools. I'm just going to see. I mean, even if I don't believe any of this stuff, it's going to work for me because I'm, my own self. What if I just tried it? So allow yourself to try at least one thing, one tool. Then appreciate yourself in the moment, that you know what? Say this to yourself. I am doing the best I can. I am just doing the best I can. A part of me wants to run from this and hide and shut all this out, but the other part of me knows that it's really essential that I do this. So I'm going to appreciate myself. I'm going to appreciate this journey. I'm going to appreciate it, and it's all good. The last phase of the 4A's is activating. So really the thing is that when you do this, you activate the essence of who you are, and that's what we're talking about. You're going to want to get to that phase. You don't want to stop in any of the awareness, allowing, appreciating, because you really want to get to the activating phase where you'll see the magic that we're talking about. You'll see the results. You'll see that speaking from your heart actually is something you may have never considered before. And then now you have the curiosity, and you're putting these things into action, and boom. The good news is, April, with everyone listening, like, you guys will see results. So we don't even need to make this about believing in it. You're going to get results. And so you're going to get excited, inspired, and motivated, and it just goes from there.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's not a quick fix. It took however many long to get those things engraved in us. It's going to take a little bit of time, but not as long as we think, to have the magic manifest in our lives. For those of you listening, my life is a living testament of this. And it's gotten my own gifts sharpened with the tools that Kelly has shared. Just to let you guys know, she actually has a free quiz that you guys can take, and it will be with the link that I send out to you guys. But you can take this quiz and it will tell you more about yourself, and then you could dive in deeper and get her book if you need to. But I personally pull out this book. I have it here at work. I pull out this book whenever I need to get back centered, and that's no joke. I also take out my journal books that I had with you when we studied together. But it is it's fun journey is what I can say. Life has definitely been more magical since we linked up together. And for those of you who are in doubt, just to see how magical it is, I had a baby last year, and she's so linked to Kelly that they communicate. That's all I can say energetically. And she just turned 1 this past weekend, and there's magic to be had in all our lives. We just have to be willing and open to receive them. So I'm so honored to have you with me today and to be able to share you with the world, you know, and I know a bunch of them will come see you, but you get to honor your own boundaries and know that those who are ready to create the shift will step forward, you know?
Yeah, that's it. That's the greatness of this all. You know, there'll always be someone there for you guys when you feel ready. And then the other good news is, even if you don't feel ready, take the leap anyway.
Yes.
And, you know, my invitation, like she said, is come to my website, and there's a wonderful quiz. But not only is there a quiz, when you see which one of the 4 different archetypes you are, there are tools that I give you in that quiz that are exact tools for that type of you that you can use to tune into your soul. So it's all there. So you can enjoy it, put it into action. And again, it's different from what I've spoken about today. So it'll be a different creation.
Yes. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. And for those of you who are listening, keep watching the interviews, and you can listen to it over and over. And we invite you to step into the best versions of your life. Thank you, Kelly.
Yay. Thank you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.